Hello, it is Lord Haywire. I'm streaming some 2D 4X today, as I do most weekends. Yeah, most weekends. I thought I would start out with this exciting Excel spreadsheet for my stream today. Isn't this exciting? You know what I noticed? I was not working on this. I just happened to glance up at this, and I noticed I spelled recruit wrong. I probably added these in a different time as this one, but look at that. It's right next to this other recruit. So we're going to fix that. We are going to do some localization today for this screen here. We're going to rename some of these too. I think I'm going to do, like I was saying yesterday, or defensive equipment, offensive equipment. These will be the titles, I guess. Yeah, we'll have a title, and then we'll have I think we might put a button so you can click on it. I don't know. Maybe we'll do that later. Maybe we'll do that in the next round because it's not necessary right now. Gotta turn this stupid thing on. Why can't life be easy? No, it's pretty easy. So what I'm doing, I didn't do my introduction. I'm making a 2D 4X game in Godot 4.4 beta 3. This is the .NET version, so it's C#. Look at this stuff. Let's get rid of that. It's a post-apocalyptic game. It's inspired by like Dominions and whatever. Paradox games. You know, the one game I was thinking it's probably not inspired by is Civilization. But whatever, right? So here we go. Let's fix this stuff because this is I'm can't believe this. I even looked. I was like, wait, oh, I might have closed it. I even looked it up because I was like, why do I have two different? It's like the French version or something. Recute. All right. So let's fix this, and which is going to break something else. See, whoa. I hate when Excel does that. That's one of my most hated things. Okay, where was it? Recruit as aid. If you click on the line, it jumps to the top and the bottom. So look, I even translated this and it let it translate. What? I feel like I'm going crazy. Is this actually the correct translation? Let's go back to here and see if we get the same thing. Looks the same. For some reason, I don't have OBS open over there. All right, so we fixed that, but we didn't fix that because we need to update these buttons with the correct phrase now because they're different. So we'll double click this and we'll go over here. Luckily, it's on this same thing. The same thing, except I'm clicking on the wrong stuff. So we need to find the buttons. Here's one. I don't know which. I guess I can just take this E off there. There we go. And then there's recruit army button. I actually think we're going to change this. And so what we're going to do, so currently what this is that you could recruit like an aid type leader heroes, as I'm calling them. And then, or you can create like an army leader that leads armies. But I think we're going to combine that. And we're just going to have one type, and their actions are going to dictate what they are. But what we're working on today is this part right here. We want to set up so that these guys can have inventory. It's not going to be like they have different. It's not going to be like, they have a helmet and whatnot. It's just they're going to have, and I'm actually going to rename this the defensive equipment, and this is going to be offensive equipment. So we might as well do that right now. And it's going to be inspired by Hearts of Iron. So this is going to be defensive equipment. And then this will be offensive. Offensive. Why am I typing this in? Yeah. Offensive. Obviously spelling isn't. What is this shit? It is a label. They should probably all say label, by the way. We might change these to buttons, like I was talking about, so that you could click on it and you can look at the equipment. We probably also should put like whatever bonuses. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. That's a future issue. But right now we just want to have what these are so that the player they can be equipped and whatnot. So let's go back. I moved this over to the other screen. So I guess I'll move this back because this is what we're working on. And chat was suggesting reconnaissance instead of scouting equipment. We could call it reconnaissance equipment, and I think that is better. Recon is since, like, that's a crazy ass word. That's some French shit, probably. Reconnaissance equipment, I think, is better. I think. And so we're going to be using basic, we'll put basic as scouting equipment, which is primitive scouting equipment is what we're calling it. We're going to put that in here. These are all going to be titles, actually. So let's actually put this. Are they going to be, yeah, they're going to be titles first. So let's copy this word first. This is like when I imagine myself programming a game, I didn't imagine myself doing stuff like this. It's kind of weird that this is the thing that I have to do, you know. So we're gonna copy this. I don't know why I didn't think that this would be a big part of it, but it is. So this is gonna be a phrase, and then I guess that's not very helpful. There's probably some hotkey where you can change this all to capital. The problem is I can't spell reconnaissance. It was right there, but let me move this over here so I can see it. Reconnaissance underscore. I can spell equipment. That one I know. Equipment. Is that right? RECONNAISSANCO with 2 E's. And then we have auxiliary equipment. We're going to get rid of this word. We're going to go phrase, defensive, equipment. And we're going to get rid of this word, and we're going to go phrase, offensive, equipment. And then we're going to change this to, we already have that, so we can just get rid of this line. We can delete this one. We're missing something here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that's everything. And then let's type this shit over here. Reconnaissance equipment. Offensive equipment. Yeah. The whole stream just going to be us in a fucking Excel spreadsheet. Defensive equipment. Because that's the fun stuff, right? Then we're going to translate this stuff. This is not in the correct order. It is 5, all right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Oh, it's already did it for us. Copy this. Paste it. Copy it. Shut up. Shut up. I made a mistake. There we go. Look at these. This one has an S on it. Equipmentos. Equipos. I wonder why. Maybe it's like auxiliaries equipment when you translate it. That's probably what it is. And then we'll say medical is the same way. My knowledge of Spanish is very primitive. I know like 5 words. But we're using Spanish as an example because we're trying to keep this, we're trying to set this all up so that when it is time to get translations, and I saw this again, and I wish I hadn't done this. I wish I had and I should probably just sit and write these all. It's one stream just to get these so that there's something in here. We can always update them later. I don't expect to do the localization for other languages until, 5 years from now. Everything's 5 years from now. So let's go back. We have this actually on our, whoops, we have this on our clipboard, and we can copy, no, it's the wrong things on the clipboard. We can copy this, put it here. Make sure that there's that line is not there. That's a horrific disaster if that happens. Okay, it's not the horrific disaster, but it is a pain. It causes other issues down the road. So, auxiliary equipment, and this will automatically translate it. It's built into whatchamacallit, Godot. Offensive equipment. I don't know if this order is what we want it in, but we can change it later if we want the order different. And why do I keep doing that? Defensive equipment. The excitement of every time that line is there. Copying, pasting. Here we go. Phrase medical equipment. And then we already did this one, right? Yep. And we're just going to hope all this is spelled right. And these are titles, so I'm going to move this over a little bit and make sure that this all says title. I have a very specific way of doing things so that later it's easier for me to figure out where shit goes. I think we're going to need an array of these, but I'm not 100% sure. And that's kind of why we're doing this. The only type of equipment we currently have is reconnaissance equipment. And so we're going to build in, hopefully we're going to build in a thing that checks for like some sort of, we'll figure that out later, but we'll have it check, like, does this place have reconnaissance equipment? Does this place have medical equipment? This place being the county that the hero's in. And so we'll build that in to look for the stuff, and but we won't have any because we haven't made that type of equipment yet. But we should probably do that soon too. And so that's kind of how this has been working. Is we work on one thing and it has like a trying to think of a way to Hydra. You cut off one head and two more grow. It has like a web of things that branch out from it that allow more things to be added to the game. And when I say things, I'm talking about some very minuscule things sometimes, and then other massive things, repercussions. And that's, I'm learning as I'm going. So that's we finish one little part and it opens up 5 new things. Then we go to the new thing and I have to learn how to do that new thing. Hopefully the thing that the program before helps me with the next part, and we go through each part and do it. And it all, this is ugly as shit. We're going to have a beautification thing at some point. And things change all the time. And I change my mind of how I want to do things. Yesterday, I spent 2 hours trying to fix a problem that I just decided that I would do it a different way, and it took 2 minutes after that to fix. I reverted my stuff. So anyways, we got these titles in here. We're going to actually need another label in between each one of these. So let's just add a node label here, and that's what just happened. Oh, I see. We want this here. You know what? I was thinking this would be easier with a new label, but actually let's duplicate each one of these. And then we'll change it. All right, now we have too much. We have too many things, so we'll fix that too. So this is not we'll put like this here, and in here we'll put like just some words, blood bag. So we'll know that, that's our example, defensive equipment. We should have left the label in there. We should have left this label here. Label. Well, then like here we'll put whatever. These don't need to be translated because these are examples that we're going to overwrite every time. This could be whatever. Bark armor. This could be shotgun. No, it's not going to be shotguns, but none of this stuff's going to be in there. Not at the beginning, at least. We're gonna have different factions eventually, but that's so far away. Now we need to fix this so that it doesn't overrun this. We can make a HBox or whatever. Make it 2 columns. Oh, I didn't do reconnaissance. I did not. We'll do this. We'll do this, and we'll call this Nox. We'll put a little thing here, though. Nox. Just for fun. Come on. We just got to have some fun, you know, for binoculars. So how do we want to do this? Do we want to do 2 columns? Because we're also going to need more room. So as we go, I've been moving things around on this panel. This is just an information panel, so right now it doesn't. We just need the information. We can do 2 panels. We could make these gaps seem unusually large. Wonder why there's like this gap between is so big. We could make that smaller, like half the size. Like look how big they are here too. What is keeping them apart? This H box. We'll name this inventory H box. Probably somewhere in here there's like a... Oh no, this is not the inventory. We need the... This is newest equipment H box. So if we... Here's the V box. You know, I checked something there. I think I unchecked it. We have like kind of a big separate. Oh yeah, we have this manually typed in here. So is it 25 before? What if we do 10? What if we do 15? There we go. What the fuck is this? Didn't I fix auxiliary equipment? Did I not do auxiliary equipment either? Jesus Christ. I don't know what we're gonna do with auxiliary. An RPG will be our auxiliary equipment. For our test. Bark armor, Nox. All right, here's our fun little test. So that actually changing that to 15 is fine. Who cares if this stuff lines up? It doesn't matter right now. But so this is what we need for everything. We have this whole description thing is here. It's getting kind of large. Maybe we want to do another inventory. Where would we attach it? Let's see here. We don't have it like broken up. I wonder what happens if you put a V-box inside a V-box. Probably nothing. Just to break this into 2, then we could stick a script on there. I'll wonder why. That was what I was thinking about. I'll wonder why there's a V-box there when we don't need one later. But let's do it anyways. This looks like it's fine. Okay, so we don't have... You know, that's fine. And we can do that. We'll call this the inventory V-box. And then we'll go up to... This is probably going to be slightly annoying later. We'll go back up to here. And we put this on like 15 or something. Let's go 20 here. And then down here... We'll go, man, I'm getting some static in my headset. We'll go, like, what is this? 0? What does 10 look like? 10 looks fine. You know what we should also do, though, is add a label here. I should probably have made a copy of it. It should go here, and we should say inventory. But do we have inventory? It doesn't look like it. So we'll do a word inventory. Inventory. Whoops, I didn't translate it. Inventario. Whoops. I think I've already said this, but I worked with some people in Mexico, and I said a couple words in Spanish one day, and I was like, I know my pronunciation is awful, you know, but I said that to the person, and they said, yeah, it's awful. You shouldn't even try. I was like, okay. All right. Okay. Thanks for the tip. Then we're gonna put this over here. And then we'll put this here. And then we'll center. This is why I said I should have just made a cut. Or did I say it? I thought it. This is going to be inventory title. All right, so we have all this stuff. So this phrase "newest equipment" is going to be hard, or the new check. So the reason we want a checkbox is to just give them any old garbage, or give them the best equipment. Maybe we should call it best equipment, but so that's how it's going to work. You're not going to be dragging and dropping things in. So like if you have 5 different types of armor, you're not going to be picking, you know, between the different armors. Like dragging, you're not going to give them, you know, a battle axe versus a sword. You're going to have, it's like Hearts of Iron, where there's different types of equipment. Where I guess just each type is better than the last, basically. Though when we have different factions, I think that's going to change. Now that I just thought about that, so if we have a faction that's using. So there's a druidic faction that I want to add second. So the druidic faction, we would have to, they would still use guns and stuff, but they're going to have like a different research tree. And I want it to be so like the base faction and then the druidic faction, you could pick between, you know, you can mix and match. So you can have like these druidic sniper type guys, you know. So maybe we do need to have some at some point. So let's put some notes in on things that we want to do in the future here. So where are we going to put this? This is going to be under hero, I guess, and it's going to be next round. So this is our next round there. So we're going to want hero inventory. Equipment should be a button that allows the player to go to click and see the description of the equipment. So they could see all the bonuses and whatnot that they get. What was the other thing I was just talking about? Select between different faction type of equipment. For example, because I'm not going to remember what this is. For example, if you are playing the druidic faction, you could pick sniper rifles, but vine armor. There we go. So yeah, we are going to have some changes to that at some point. So we'll have to, well, I don't know how we'll do that, but that'll be something for the future. I'm trying to future-proof to a point, but I don't know if we want to get into that right now. I mean, we can't get into that right now. Well, let's rethink this. I like to rethink everything as I stream here, because then we just I just sit around and pontificate like a fucking asshole. So also we can have the newest equipment on each line. So we could say like use the newest reconnaissance equipment, but not the newest medical equipment. Yeah, I don't know if this whole idea kind of is not working now that I think about it. So let's see. I mean, it works, but it's maybe we do want to pick from like drag down. Like we want it to be a drag and drop thing. That was my original idea, but then I was like, you're going to get this list of all sorts of stuff. So I maybe I can find a picture of an inventory. I do this all the time. Equipment. I do this all the time where we look up something like this and it's pointless. So let's look at this pointless thing. This is actually exactly what I wanted. So if you look at like Hearts of Iron where they have, this is, I think this is research or something. This is, you know, some sort of mod. But this works kind of what I'm talking about here. Can I make this bigger? I sure can. So for example, these are different factions in Hearts of Iron. This is like some mod. I've never played with this mod. That looks like they give each nation has their own types of guns. But this works. So like imagine there's the Druidic faction and the other one. You could pick between these for what you'd want them to equip. So what you have available. Yeah, I don't think the newest thing's going to work. I knew this was going to be complicated. So imagine that this is, you know, you would want for some guys to have the Ross and some guys to have the Grand. So the thing with that, though, how much power do we want to give the player? Because this is going to also equip all of his followers. So this panel is actually going to have a... Maybe we should put this panel in here. Yeah, we should. All right, so this is going to get a lot more complicated. We're going to need an H box right here. I mean, I knew this stuff was coming up. This isn't a surprise motherfucker situation. We're going to, whoops, this goes right here. We're going to put this in here. And then we're going to add another V-box. Let's go up here. No, it was actually in the right place. This will be... Followers? So then in here, though, I think we need to do a couple of things here. Layout, we want this to container sizing. We want this to expand horizontally, and then we want this other one to expand horizontally. Layout, container sizing, expand. So now it's going to take up both. We can copy this title, put it, no, not there, put it right there, and we'll call this followers. For now, it will be followers. Subordinates, is that a good word? Seems like a long, worthless word. Subordinates, with an S. Person under the control of another within an organization. Treat or lesser importance. I think subordinates is what we want, actually. We'll call this subordinates with a capital S. And then this will be and I don't know why. I mean, I guess I know why, because I'm copying and pasting here. I had somebody in chat demand that I copy and paste certain stuff, and it's kind of an interesting thing. People who show up in chat, I would say 90% of them are extremely friendly and cool people, but there are a few people that I wonder why they're so rude. It's like what the fuck is this guy's problem? It's I wonder if they like where are they getting this from? You know what I mean? subordinates. See, I can't spell it all. Sometimes, they're just trolling. That's a thing, getting trolled. But then other times, I think they're just rude. And then they get offended if you call them out on it. A part of it is probably because, and I've said this before, we were talking about, I guess I was yammering on about this the other day. Part of it is because, streamers don't want to lose viewers, so they'll put up with more shit than a normal person was. So people think they can come into a streamer's chat and be a dickhead because they're not going to get banned because the streamer wants the viewer, And that's the same with YouTube. And I think when I was yammering about this before, I was talking about YouTube. Because YouTube, like, nobody gets blocked on their comments, but people should be blocking YouTube comments. Those people should. So in YouTube, you shadow ban them, basically. They don't know that they're blocked. And I think if they go to I think this is how it works. If they go to the YouTube channel that they've been commenting on, they can't tell that they've been blocked. But no one else can see their stuff. So everyone should be shadow banning those motherfuckers, those rude pieces of shit. Every one of them should be, every YouTuber out there should be, and they can just shout their nonsense at the fucking, the empty world, and eventually they'll stop doing it because no one will respond to them, because that's what they want 90% of the time, is someone just to respond to their dumb shit, or they're trying to hurt your feelings, and you get used to it pretty quick because everyone's trying to hurt everyone else's feelings. But whatever. It doesn't work except for a few people. All right, so this should now we can put over this subordinates spreadsheet. And then with subordinates, though, this is going to be like a scroll thing. And the armies are going to be quite small in this, and everyone's going to be named in there. In your army is going to have an actual name. So we'll add into here like a scroll box or whatever the fuck it's called, a scroll container. So we'll add this scroll container, and then inside the scroll container, we're going to need another VBox, because that's how those things work. And then we'll just put like a label in here, and we'll just call this like test label or some shit. We're not going to translate it. I don't see it. Why can't I see you? We're going to center this. Center. No, I'm on the wrong button, but I'm thinking, do we want this to be a test button? It doesn't really matter. Why can't we see you? What's your problem? Are you all smushed? You're smushed, probably. We need you to expand. Is it because you're in here? We probably need you to expand. Horizontal is expanded. It is a scroll container, I think. We just need this temporarily in here. Why can't I see you? You're there. Oh, we needed this to expand this direction too. There we go. And then we should be able to like put a bunch of these in here. Like as many as we can, and then it will kick in the scroll thing. So that works. That's what we want. We'll just have these tests. We don't need that many. Just for testing, we'll just have this test label here. When we get to this, because we're not doing that part now. That's a whole nother ball of wax that we're going to get to. Ball of wax. And look, we don't have the same spacing there either. I kind of don't like all this big, ugly space. The whole thing's fucking ugly, so let's not worry about it. All right, so what we are working on is this, which is back to our problem here. So this is the subordinate. This is the subordinate inventory. So that whenever you select here, will affect the subordinates will try to equip the same gear. So if you have it all set on the newest gear, they're going to try to get the best gear. But now we have that problem with the different factions. And let's try to future-proof it to a point. Maybe we do need this to be a drop down where you pick what you want it, exactly what you want it to be. So you could do bark armor, and it's not going to be like shotguns or rifles. Could be like crossbows and rifles, though. And they'll try to equip that, and if they can't, we could change the thing that says newest equipment. We could change it to, like, if it doesn't have it on the inventory, you better equipment or not. So let's, if this is going to be a drop down, though, like I said, it's going to be a drop down for, it's going to be quite the drop down. So the other thing we could do is actually going back to this picture of Hearts of Iron. We could select, we could have like something like this, like a matrix pop up, and you could pick for each hero. Like it would default to the best stuff. But then you can be like, oh no, I want my guys to have crossbows or whatever. I want my guys to have Springfields. And, you know, this is all the same type of guns, but just imagine there was different guns here. Use your imagination. So, yeah, so we could do a matrix like this. This is a whole lot more work than I was thinking, but if we want to future-proof it, we probably should do it the right way. I mean, we're half-assing 90%, we're 1/3 assing, no, 1/8 assing the whole game right now. Wait, 7/8 assing. It's mostly ass. So it's mostly ass. So we're 7/8 assing the game right now. But I'm trying not to set myself up. I mean, everything's going to have to be rewritten, but I'm trying not to set myself up for too much rewriting. But I don't know. I don't think I don't know. Let's just do it this way for now. Because there's something else is going to change how this shit works later. I'm pretty sure. So let's just do it this way. Newest equipment versus no newest equipment. What did I put down here? I don't need this open. Yeah. So what I was thinking with the sniper rifles, but like vine armor, like it would give them like a bonus to their hiding ability, you know, or whatever. Their stealth ability, their hiding. Like I said, though, so far my experience has been that everything that we set up when we come, so we're doing it like in a circle. We go around each point and we update the game in the most ass way. Since we're using that terminology. So we go around and we set it up in the most ass way, and then when the whole game's been done, we go around again and update each one of the things. And so far, we've made one full circle, and we're like 1/3 of the way on the second circle, except for one thing. We haven't had a faction panel, and actually, we don't have multiplayer, and which we're going to get to eventually. But so we have the circles. And the thing is that when we get back around to it, we're rewriting huge chunks and changing the thing so much that it's like not worth putting that, because I haven't put that much thought into the future. The problem, like if I was to do this for real, I'd work out how all this stuff works ahead of time, and then you would program it all. But I'm just going along. So let's just leave it this half-ass way, the 7/8 ass way. So that's fine. We got subordinates. We have the notes in there for the future, for the next round. And this is just our test labels for the subordinates because we are going to need that eventually. That's not going to be in this branch. We're just doing the inventory for this branch. So now we need to populate this and we need to make this work. So we have this here. We're going to need it. Whoa, I just accidentally dragged that, but so everything's fine. We're going to need a new script on here. Let's add a script. I haven't added a script in a long time. This is going to be in the UI. Scripts, UI. I kind of don't like that I broke up the two scripts like that. But inventory VBox container. Yeah. I think that's what we want. C#. All right, so what do we got here? We got to put in using, namespace, player space. Why did I do that? We don't need to do it that way anymore. We go like this. So I think we're going to want an array of these things. So we can go through and populate it. We'll call this script from over here, from, this upper thing. And we're going to have to add this inventory into the populations. Maybe we should hide this if they're not if they're just a normal person. They don't get inventory like this. This is like army inventory, follower inventory stuff. So we should probably do that. We should hide that. Same with this. We can actually replace this with a different panel where we would have like whatever their needs or something like that or something. But we don't need it. We don't need it on a normal population. And we have the ability to turn that on and off. It's already in one little thing, so that'll make it easier too. So I think we're going to need an array of these. What are these things? Labels? Public. It's got to be public because we're going to accessing it. Label, array, equipment. So we know we need that. What else do we need? That's it. We do need a thing that will interact with this, but let's build this, get our bunch of errors that we get every time. I'm getting weird frame skipping happening. It's very, very small amount, but it's strange. There we go. We got 21 this time. It's not a consistent number. It's very strange. So we've built that. So this should now, I didn't put export on it. Have this list of equipment. Gonna build this again. There it is. We need 5 of these. We got 5 of those. We're gonna go reconnaissance, medical, defense, offensive, and auxiliary equipment. And we're going to save that. So then we need to take a look here at our resources, because there's the resource, we don't need some of this stuff, doesn't need to be open. The resources are what we're pulling this stuff from. Like it's a resource. Actually, we're calling them goods now. So we're gonna have to look at our goods data, our good data. So wherever the fuck it is, interests, goods. So let's look at primitive scouting equipment. Whoops, no, that's not what we want. We want to go down here. I moved these things once and they imploded, so I don't, these things, so I never move them now. So we have failure rate in there. That's something. So we have county. We have. I'm thinking maybe we need a list, a separate. I'm really getting into the list here. Maybe we need a separate list, and we put these things in the list. The other thing we can do is an enum, where the enum says the equipment type, and but then we have to loop through it every time, every resource. So we're gonna get a lot of resources. So what we could do. So let's pretend. Let's write our thing for the first one of these. This is going to be a public. Static? No. Yes. Static. How are we accessing this thing? It doesn't. We can do it a different. We don't need a static one on here. I mean, we don't need. This doesn't need to have an instance. It could. I use the instance all the time, but I've been kind of getting away from that. So we'll just go public void. Yeah, we're going to be accessing this equipment, so we can't do a static one. This will be generate equipment. And then we'll go like this. We'll go for each label, equipment, label in equipment. We need one more of these. So for each one of those, we have to go through something. So where are we going to store this information currently in the game, which is not running? Let's run the game. I got to close this down. I got to make it invisible. I got to hide it. Currently in the game, we're going to want to... or we have them here under goods. So it's right here. So we can make another list that's just of scouting equipment, and we could just link the last scouting equipment in there, or we could loop through this whole list looking for. It would be non-perishable. So we would look at the non-perishable list, and we would loop through it looking for an enum of equipment type scouting equipment. And then we would have to have a number in there, which is I think having another list would be, I'm going list crazy where I just have a list for everything. It would be a list of this. So this is already would exist. This place already has 100 scouting equipment. Is that for real? Is that a bug? I think that's a bug. Can they even make scouting equipment? It's all weird like this because of the embeddedness. They haven't built that yet, but I think I have it set to loop through and give them 100. We can get rid of that thing while I see it. Good max amount. We don't need this right now. So that actually helps us with our testing. We do have 100 of each. I think it would be easier to have a list of scouting equipment in each county. Not easier. So my fear is that you will be looping through so much stuff that it will slow down. Like, have you ever played like late game, any Paradox game where the UI starts to get sluggish? That's my worry. Maybe I shouldn't worry about that. Let's not worry about that. I'm overthinking things again. So what we can do is loop through this whole, and we're going to have like a type here. We'll go to all enums. We'll have equipment. Wait, this isn't alphabetical. I thought I made this alphabetical. Perishable is right in the middle. element OP. Perishable. What? Element OP HIJK. What are we doing now? Equipment type. Equipment type. So we're going to do that in E. Yeah, I think I'm overthinking stuff like that. Equipment type. And we're going to say the first one, the default is going to be none. And then we're going to say scouting, or sorry, reconnaissance. Let's bring this over here. Reconnaissance. Reconnaissance. Why are you tabbed over there for me, buddy? Reconnaissance is first. Then what did we do? I guess I got to look at this. See, this is the problem with the embedded thing, is you got to move this shit around. They got to fix this at some point. I've tried these buttons up here to make this not happen, but let's go to here. Let's go to here. Reconnaissance, medical. Oh, I need a comma over here. Defense, offense. And then auxiliary. Auxiliary. All right, so we have these 5 and then none. Hey, Lord Mac, how's it going? What's new with you? Let's see. So that's everything we need there. Then back to this. We're going to have to add this to our good data. We have a good type here. What does that do? What is that good type? Oh, yeah. So we'll go back to here. No. Back to here. And we'll put after perishable, we'll go export public all enums equipment type, save that, go over here, build this thing. We're doing some equipment. Lord back, we're getting to the equipment part. It's gonna be very primitive, of course. Did that build? Can't tell if it's doing something. Let's stop that. And where was I going? Oh yeah, we need to set each one of these pieces of equipment. The good thing is that it's actually we only need to set one piece of equipment because they're all going to default to none. It always defaults to the. So if we click on this, if we double click on this, it's going to default to none, which is all these are none except for this is going to be reconnaissance equipment. Yep, day by day, it's slow going, but I mean, I could work on it more. that would be the solution, is like add another day of streaming or something. And I've thought about streaming on Wednesday nights, but I don't know. I've been playing a lot of Tarkov, but I'm starting to get burned out. I'm burned out on everything, video game wise. So let's see. That's the only thing that matters right now, was having that one thing in there. So we're going to go back to this. So it's going to go for each label. And we can actually use, is this going to work? I think we can use those enums to, like with a, we can use those enums to put in what we want to fill in those. Can we do that? Sort of. Sort of. Go back to books again? Yeah, reading books is fun. I have a ton of them. I need to. There's like a bunch that I want to reread or read for the first time too. People always give me books too. Generally, I've noticed the ones they give me and I'm not that into. What was the name of that one book that's fucking awful? Ready Player One. So when Ready Player One came out, every motherfucker on the planet that I know said, "You got to read this book, Josh. It's the best book I've ever read in my life." And I was like, "Whoa, that's quite an endorsement by everyone." And then my parents got it for me because they were like, "I've heard so much about how good this book is, and that book is awful." Yeah, that book is awful. And then this happened. So I was talking about this yesterday or last weekend. I think it was yesterday, or maybe I was talking about it in my brain to myself. When people finally started criticizing that book and how bad it is, many people suddenly changed their opinion on it, and they were like, "Hey, I actually never liked that book," and it weirds me out. Like, did they actually never like it? And they were just like, they didn't want to argue. You know, people are like, "This is the best book I've ever read." And because when I said this is one of the worst books I've ever read, everyone gave me shit. They're like, "Oh, well, you just didn't understand it." I was like, to understand what, man? It's just a list of callbacks to the 80s and 90s. That's all it is. It's just a giant list of references. It's awful. And so, like, and then, you know, like, so what changed where they, and so what I was talking about before was the movie Joker, where I also did not like the movie Joker. And then this Joker 2 came out, and everyone was like, Joker 1 was dog shit. And I was like, wait, no, everyone told me Joker 1 was the best movie they'd ever seen in their life. And that's why I watched it, is because everyone said it was great. And then when I said it was dog shit, everyone was like, no, you're wrong. It's really good. And one of my friends still believes it's very good. So I appreciate his sticking, like, not changing his opinion. But many people suddenly were like, yeah, Joker 1 was always a dog shit. And it's like, but that's not what everyone said. So the same thing with Ready Player One. Everyone suddenly is like, nah, this is, 5 years ago. Yeah, that book is terrible. It's so bad. Anyways, those are the type of books that people give me. And so I'm always reluctant to read them because it's like some piece of shit. I also hate everything. So that's another problem. All right, so we got to loop through these equipment lists, and we got to check for the best equipment. So how are we going to check for the best equipment? Like, what's the best equipment? So the best equipment, so we're going to need two different for loops. No, we'll just have an if in here. We'll go like if, well, we need that checkbox then. Let's put in that checkbox. Public checkbox. And this checkbox is going to be called newest equipment. And so we're going to also need to save this newest equipment per hero. So let's put that on our population data, wherever the hell that is. Wherever the hell our population data is. So we're going to need to save this. Yeah, we should change that to an enum sooner than later. Probably skills, work. Where's our activity? What's at the bottom of this thing, isn't it? Word activity. Where's our activity? So it should be right around here. We'll put export group inventory public or export. No, Oh, we have to export everything because we're going to save this stuff. Public bool. What's the Ready Player One meme? I don't even know it. Newest equipment. We'll put use right here. I watched part of the movie too on a plane, and normally the whole thing is, yeah, no, it is. Normally when I try to pick a movie on a plane that's this less than the plane ride, and there was nothing on there, so I was like, oh, I'll watch Ready Player One, and then if it's really good, I'll track down the ending or whatever. And I watched on a different plane. I watched that what's that Dunkirk movie, and I was so bummed because I didn't get to the end. Uh, I was so bummed. Like I was like, oh my god, the plane! I come on, can't you guys fly around for 10 more minutes? So then I had to, I had to like come home and rewatch it. But so Ready Player One, like 15 minutes in, I was just dreading having to sit on the plane and watch that movie because it was. I don't know what was up with the CG in that too. Like the whole movie's CG and it was bad, and the plot was worse. It's just the whole thing was just I don't know. It was just bad. We should probably put another export group here. The person sitting next to me when I watched Dunkirk said something like, as we're getting ready to land and they're like, close your electronic devices or whatever, the person next to me was like, oh man, you're missing out on the end of that movie. Like they felt for me. Ready Player One, they just thought I was an idiot. They just like, look at this dumb shit. Watching Ready Player One. This one's going to be called County Improvements. There we go. Or improvement. These are all like one lines. The reason I wanted to put this one is because I think when we build this, it's going to put all the ones below it. There's probably a way to like end that export group so it doesn't do that, now that I think about it. I don't know if that build works or worked. This is going to be under our population data. Let's look at one of them. We don't have one. We might have like no, that's production. Yeah, we don't have one for population data. It doesn't work that way. We don't even need these groups. So I guess after when they've been run, we can look at them in remote and it shows that stuff. Doesn't matter. Let's go back to our inventory box. So now for each equipment, if so we're going to need a population data passed in here. I was thinking, do we need export on it? I don't think we do. It's going to be public population data. Population data with a little. We'll pass that in when we call this. Actually, we're not going to do it here. We're gonna do this. That's my old way of doing things. I don't know. If population data use newest equipment is equal to true. So this loop, let's actually do equal to false for this, just for testing sakes. Yeah, Dunkirk was pretty good. That's Christopher Nolan, like almost every movie he's made has been good. I'm trying to think of a bad one. Did he make a bad movie? Has he made a bad movie? Oh, Tenet. Tenet was pretty bizarre. So Tenet was one of those movies that I didn't like, but I could appreciate what the artist was doing. Was attempting. You know what I mean? Like you're like, yeah, that guy's That guy's going for some crazy shit. Doesn't really work, but uh, yeah. Have you seen it? What'd you think about it? If you've seen it, I mean, I guess you could have opinions without. We're gonna need a county and. Oh, we know the county because we have the population data. So this is where I guess it's not gonna get weird. Uh, yeah, it's such a weird premise, and then I think to me. I think they thought the reverse combat would look cooler and not as goofy as it did, and it turned out looking goofy. To me, it did. But yeah, I can totally. I was like, well, he's going for something, and he's got the money to do it. You know what I mean? Like, might as well do some art. He's got the. What is it? What has he done recently? Did he do Oppenheimer? Christopher Nolan. Oh, look, it looks like his Batman stuff is suggested a lot. Sir Christopher Nolan. Interstellar. He did The Prestige. I love that movie. Inception. He did Man of Steel? Really? What is this? He did The Prestige. What? What is this? I don't. Doodlebug. I've never even heard of. I really like The Prestige. I like movies with. I know that like your movies with voiceovers are considered like not good. It's like you're in the movie writing game. You're not supposed to have voiceovers, but I really like Memento has the voiceover. Prestige has the voiceover where I like that one. There's that other magician movie. He doesn't made that many movies. I guess Memento was the one that really. I love Memento too. I rewatched that recently. Yeah, the narrator like that. I like the. So I rewatched. So I've watched Memento probably 50 times in my life, and I rewatched it recently, and I forgot how it was. There was like a small level of comedy in that movie. Like it doesn't take itself that seriously. I can't believe he did Man of Steel. That was kind of not a good movie. What is Man of Steel's 7.1? I mean, so he did the story for it. Huh. What's his upcoming movies? The Odyssey? Memento? Isn't it? Isn't it? Yeah. I sometimes joke to myself because I don't know who's seen that movie, but like my memory's so bad, I'm like the guy in Memento. What the fuck is this? Remake of the movie. Who's remaking this movie? Why is he's doing the remake? AMBI purchased the rights to the complete film library of exclusive media groups, which includes Memento. As of this time, Nolan himself is not attached to the project in any way. He's not. Single Wings, how's it going? Doesn't sound like somebody's remaking Memento. What a strange maneuver. Have they forgotten about it? When Memento came out, what's that actor's name? I just closed it. He was like on the fast track to becoming huge, and then he kind of disappeared off the face of the earth. And I remember reading something about his deal, like he had some deal, like deal as in he was like hard to work with or something. I don't think he was hard to work with. I can't remember. What's new with you, Stinko Inks? Population data, use newest equipment equals false. So if the use newest equipment equals false, does that mean they use the oldest equipment? Yes. So what we'll do is we'll loop through for each county data, which we don't know the county data. So we're going to get the county data right here. So we're going to get a county data. County data is going to equal. I love being lazy. That's my main attribute. I always say. I keep wanting to call that guy Hugh Jackman, but he's not. Actor. Guy Pearce. There we go. Guy Pearce is his name. I wonder what he's been in. Guy Pearce. Recently. Yeah, he was like such a, like, everyone was talking about he was gonna. I wonder what happened to him. Oh, he's in some Australian TV show. Yeah, because like L.A. Confidential. Oh, he was in Ravenous. Ravenous is great. If you haven't seen Ravenous, you should see Ravenous. He's the main guy in Ravenous. L.A. Confidential. He's the main guy. When did Memento come out? Well, I guess it's going to be on his list, huh? So I guess Memento, that was after L.A. Confidential. Because L.A. Confidential was huge too. Oh yeah, the Time Machine was a real dog. The Road is really interesting if you're into like Mad Max. Oh wait, no, not The Road. Yeah, he had a small part in, what is the name of that movie? It's an Australian movie as well. The fuck is the name of that movie? The Road is a different movie, but they're kind of similar. The Rover. That's the one I was thinking about. Australian dystopian. Yeah, that movie wasn't very good. It's at least the one with Guy Pearce wasn't. He's an Alien Covenant? Oh, right. Yeah. The problem is the story is kind of strange. The Time Machine story is not like the standard, arc type shit. I mean, the guy works constantly. Like, look how many TV shows and movies he's been in, but he's not the It Man or whatever they called it. He was in Iron Man 3. I mean, he was in Prometheus. I wonder if that's by choice, because occasionally you run into that where it's by choice. I think we needed this in 2 steps. Did I have to do it in 2 steps before? I don't remember. We'll see if we can do this in 1 step. So we're going to do a county data here. Some people just don't want the Hollywood lifestyle. Oh, he was a villain in that? Like, he's a good actor. We're going to go globals, instance, county's parent, get child, population data, location. Why doesn't it like this? Dot county data. Yeah, I think I got to do this in 2 steps. I think I do. Because there's a county in here first. And this is going to be a county. And then this is going to be county dot count. Yeah, exactly. There we go. And then we'll put a space there for each. Good data. Good data. I think we have this just in one. I was looking off into space like, oh, I forgot to do my break. I was looking off into space like that because the number on the array actually is going to match the number of the type of equipment. So we might not have to for each. We can just say, put that in there. The problem is we're going to have different types. Oh yeah, we were going to put it by tier too. Yeah, we were going to put a tier in there. Let me go take a quick break. Did I take a break? No, I didn't take a break. I feel like I did take a break. I did take a break. I don't remember. Was that yesterday? Talking about like the guy from Memento. That was 15 minutes ago. I think in the movie, he only remembered 15 minutes. Maybe I took a break. There's no way for me to tell. No, I did take a break. And I went and thought about something. I don't know what I thought about. So for each one of these, good data in county data. Did I? Was that yesterday? Oh my God. I feel like I want to smoke though. I can't remember. There's no time stamp on text message or on messages. That would be useful. Sometimes, I guess. All right. So if this is false, we need to put a tier on the equipment, which we can just do with an int. Tier 0. Do we, it doesn't matter. We would want to do, it doesn't matter for the, like if we start at 1. Let's go to our good data, equipment type. Public int equipment tier. I was just thinking maybe we could put that, we'd set this up as a public class, and then we just have like the equipment public class sitting in there, so that we could do 0 tier. What does this default to? What do ints default to? I assume 0, but let's see. I wonder if it's like they default to whatever happens to be laying around. So this is going to be a good data. Did I put export on it? I did. It's towards the top. See, I need some export groups in there. It defaults to 0. So if we start using 1 as the first tier, it will... Well, it's going to skip them because of the equipment type. We might want to break this. I'll put a little note in here. We might want to break equipment out as a new public class, maybe. So let's see here. I was looking at these things again. So back to this. This shouldn't be that hard, even though I'm kind of grinding in a circle here. So for each good data, I guess the easiest way to do this we would create a list of each equipment type from that. That's why I was saying maybe we just create an equipment list that is just constantly updated. But let's create a normal C# list of good data. And we'll call it current, and we'll just call it equipment list. And then we just need that, we need to make a new, just winging it here. For each good data in county data goods. What's your problem? Oh, this is a dictionary. What do we get? What is it? Good type. And then it's, so we're going to go key pair, whatever. Key value pair. And we're going to go good data. Was it good data? It was good type. Enums, good type, comma, good data. Was it not? Let's look here. Resources is goods. Oh, it's all, it's like this. It's county good types. County good types. Back to here. What am I doing wrong here? Key is county good type, comma, good data. I've done this like 400 times, but I haven't done it recently. So that's the problem. Like, here is the exact thing. Here, literally the exact thing. In county data.goods. There we go. All right, so we're going to go through each one of these in there. And so we're going through each label. So it's going to hit the first label. Can we get the labels index? We could do it with a for loop instead of a for each loop. But I think we might be able to get the labels index as well. Let's see. Get C# get label index. Not label index, get array index. Index of, I mean, we could just do a for loop, I suppose. Get the index of a particular item in an array. Find index. So find index. Really? It's that much of a pain in the ass? I mean, this isn't that much pain of an ass, but let's do this. Yeah, for each. I think we just use a for loop instead of a for. How do you get the index of a current iteration of a for each loop? Item and select value. The new is new anonymous. Heap allocation can be, all right, we'll just do a for loop. Jesus Christ. It's not that. I haven't done one of those in a long time either. We're going to, yeah, we're going to need it up here. For, Jesus, I haven't done one of those forever. For loop. I just got to remember how they work. Here we go. No, not the statement. I need this. This is the one I need. For I equals plus I, less than 5, less than equipment dot length. And then we're going to get rid of this. Yeah, so it's going to go through each label, and each label, it's going to loop through all of the goods, and we're going to make it, we can actually make it start on 1. So we can skip the first label because that's the none label. We don't give a shit about that. And then we can, because they match up is my idea here. If this is false, we're going to equipment list dot add. We're going to add to the equipment list how are we doing this? If equipment good data, wait, what are we doing? Key value pair equipment oh, I gotta put value. Whoops. Equipment type is equal to all enums equipment type. Can I put I in here? Can I convert an enum, an int to an enum? C# convert int to enum. Parse your enum int. What? Your ints. I do it like this. Joker, how's it going? Okay, so we're going to cast this as an equipment type with this I. So this is going to be, it's going to start on 1. And so if the equipment type is reconnaissance, we add this to the list. We add that to the list, I think. What is that? What is that emoji? The three one. So then we have this equipment list. And before we do anything else here, we need to call this. I'm going to need to pass in the equipment data, and then I'm going to do a test here because I'm not sure this is going to work. What's going on with these things over here? There we go. Then at the end of this, we'll do for each good data. What do they call that? I can't remember. That's the candle thing. I thought it was for Christmas or whatever. Not Christmas, but Hanukkah. For each good data in equipment list, GD print good data in equipment list. And we're going to do a plus good data dot get name. I guess we don't need that with this. Good name. For each, forgot an important word there. What's your fucking problem? Okay, wait, that will do it a bunch of times though. I guess we could put this up here. Then we got to attach this to something. So what we're going to do is generate equipment. We're going to put this inside the population description thing. Is visible equals yes. We're going to go. We're going to put this. I got to find where it goes. Right here is where it goes. It's going to be a private. I think it's a V box. No, it's an H box. It's a V box. Here's all the V box stuff, Stinglewinks. When you were working on that, I was like, you got to put in more V boxes and H. You just throw thousands of H boxes and V boxes in until your problems are solved. That's the cure. That's how you do it in inventory V box container. Yeah, yeah. Why are you grayed out? Because you're not in use. What we're going to do then from here. No, it's not an inventory VBox container. This is going to be actually inventory. I mean, it is, but it's going to be this thing. And then here, we're going to go inventory VBox container. What did I call that? Generate equipment. All right, we're going to call that. Wait, fuck you. There we go. We're going to call this, so this is on visibility change. It's going to generate this. This is probably not going to stay here, but that's just for this test. Now, what is the first bug we're going to get? We're going to get a bug here unless we drag this thing in. So we're going to drag this thing in over here. And then we're going to hit play. Then we're going to go open up this and open up this, and then we get a bug. That's not what we want. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. You think this isn't? It could be -1. The population that we clicked on, though, should have a, whatchamacallit, why can't I get to my close button? Oh, this is fucked up too. That's fucked up too. Let's turn this back on. It's probably one of my fucking around with stuff there. No? It could be because of the debug thing. That shouldn't affect it though. Maybe it does. I wanted to click on a different person and see if they knew their location. See, I don't know about this embedded thing. Because this is a regular issue. I got to drag all this shit around to try to get. So I don't know if it's because of the dragging that this is, because this is cut off, or if it's the, like this whole thing is pushed up. I think the whole thing's pushed up, actually. Get child, the location should be, we can look, I think, here in our remote. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get rid of that embed. I tried for 2 weeks, two weekends, but let's look here at our county. It is the dev version. This should have Is that not exported? It is not exported. Can I not export this for some reason? Let's export this. Let's run this. I'm curious what maybe it has a -1 in its location, which is possible. It shouldn't, but it might. Or I made a mistake with the get child thing, which is possible as well. County parents. You know, the other way we could do this, actually, without doing this, is you have to be selected on a county. No, you don't. You could also just click straight through the hero. So that's not going to work. What was I going to look at? Oh, yeah, the remote here. This is empty? Am I not? Did I change how I do things and I like left a variable just fucking hanging around? No. Oh, well, that's the one I just typed in. So when we click that button, how are we generating our description? How are we getting this information if we're not using this? I mean, we could be. But let's see what happens. Besides this one. Okay, no, we're using it like all over the fucking place. Is it happening too quickly? Is that what's... Well, no, it said that it was empty. We do have this call deferred thing. I bet you it's in this call deferred. Oh, look how I did it. I didn't use the name thing like I always do. We'll just put this at the top temporarily. It's weird that that's blank, though. Maybe if it hits that bug, it croaks it. That's quite possible. Yeah, we're going to have to figure out this thing as well. If I can't close this description panel, we're going to have problems. Primitive, good. Oh, it's because it's a good. Yeah, let's see if I can close this now. I don't know if this has been happening, though, if it's the embedded issue or what. I don't feel like it is because we don't see the close button. I could have accidentally closed the close button. See, yeah, the embedded thing is really kind of a pain at this point because I have to drag this shit around. Maybe I hid the close button because I did fuck with it. Not on purpose. I accidentally attached something to it. Let's stop this. Let's turn that off. Let's stop this. Let's hit play. And then we'll test that. See, that looks right. We got our close button down there. Yeah, so it was just that. And this is working correctly. So we'll leave that there for our testing, but let's jump back to this and make this thing work for everything else. So it's going to, for all of these, we can do a test. Let's do a test. Well, let's make this one work first. So how are we going to do? We're going through the equipment length. We go through all the goods. This adds it to the equipment list. And then what we want to do is, we have to use up one of them. Huh. I haven't thought this through at all. They need to use one of the equipment items. It needs to generate it needs to actually generate the equipment. Yeah, I didn't think this through at all. What I'm doing is not, we don't need to do this. I mean, we need to do it, but not here. So basically, what we need to do is when a hero is generated, we need to set this at some sort of. I think we need to do it in the morning. I think that's like once a day it checks. Maybe we do it after production's done. So like the production of the equipment's done, we check to see, and then the heroes are assigned this equipment. So we need, yeah. And so we need this, like this one piece of equipment to be on the, yeah, I made this. What the hell am I doing here? We're going to use part of this, but we're going to use this part in a different thing. And then this is just going to pull straight from the equipment from the hero. So the hero is going to already have this stuff assigned. So what happens if, see, this is back to that other thing I was talking about earlier, where do we want to change, hey, this stuff didn't translate. Oh, you don't want to know why this didn't translate? Because the thing I mentioned at the beginning, if you don't re-import this, everything breaks. I learned that the hard way. I thought I had problems with the code and stuff, but it was just re-importing that. So I was thinking more of this being, so back to what we were talking about where you could pick and choose from here. That's why I was thinking we would need to set this here, but we actually need this to be set somewhere else. And then once you click this, it updates their equipment, their inventory. So let's do this. Let's put this as a daily thing. It checks. So right after stuff has been produced, it will check and give them, it will check this bool. And then if the player adjusts that bool, it will also do the check. We'll call the same method from here over to wherever this method that we're going to, it should probably be like the hall master should be in control of this. And so then the other problem is going to be, I guess we're not going to do it yet, but the equipment is going to wear out. We're not going to have like a number that counts down. It's just going to be a percentage that it rolls the percentage every day or once a week or something. So it will be, like primitive scouting equipment will have a 9% chance every day of breaking. And if it breaks, it's gone and you got to get a new one. And so they have to get it from the county, which you would check every day unless you opened up this thing and you could force it to check. You would want it to force it every day it checks. Hey, look, this person's name is David McCarl. So every day it would check. Is there a way we could fire it off? Okay, so if one breaks, it tries to get a new one automatically. We're not even to that part, but that's what we'll do there. And then if you fuck with that bool, if the player fucks with the bool, it does it then. And then, yeah, so we don't have to worry. We'll have it happen every morning. It will check after production. Because you could have this thing checked and then you start producing stuff and they need to equip that. That's not going to take any time. All right, so let's fix where this goes. So we're back to our county thing. It's got to check every county. And we want it at the end of day. We could actually add a new thing in here. Once again, I'm always worried about productivity. Stinkawings, are you talking about sex? when you're talking about morning, the best time doing it. I kept looking over there, and I was like, I don't know. I should I re- What are we talking about here? I was like, I know I'm yammering about something else. So probably we can have like an hour. We could have an hour 4, where on hour 4 it does some performance. And now I'm not talking about sex when I'm talking about performance here. We're talking about. I'm worried about performance still. So I mean, we do a new instance of the 4 o'clock, and we have a 4 o'clock thing. So all this other stuff has happened, and we did. It's not going to be the end of the world. Daily hour 4 plus equals. We have start day. We have end day. We have after. After start day. Why don't we just call it 4? Because we're going to after start day. So we need to do a couple of things here. First off, we need to go into here and add a new. So we have a day and a daily hour 2 in there. And then we need to fire this at a particular time. And then we're going to put a 4 here. A 4 here. Hour 2 is firing the weekly. Then we're going to go back over here. And then we're going to generate this puppy. And then we probably can do this, just say like call it like these by the hours, but I think it's going to be kind of confusing. It doesn't matter. It'll be fine how it is. Maybe we'll do this one for at some point, but for now, right now, all that matters is this. So we're gonna create a thing called equip heroes. And we're gonna generate this. And this, I think this should probably be the Hall Master. How is the Hall Master looking? Is he getting out of control? Like, is there too much hauling? Is he hauling things? Hall Master. I have gone too far. Hall Master. Are you a public class, Mr. Hall Master? The hell am I going here? He's getting pretty big. We could start a new one called like the equipment handler or something. What do they call that? Not a hall master. It's the person, the quartermaster. I think the quartermaster controls giving goods to your guys. Quartermaster manages supplies and equipment for a military unit or ship. And we shall have a new script, a new public class called the Quartermaster. Public classes. I have found that I always look up words that I feel like I already know the definition to, because I feel like there's sometimes some subtleties that I have been missing as I age. The subtleties of words start to kind of fall apart. This is me, the Quartermaster. So I'm always double checking and relearning what I already know. I hope that I already know. Oh, we don't need that shit. Quartermaster. So the Quartermaster is going to be a public class. And we aren't going to use Godot. And I'm just going to put in here. We're not even going to call this thing. I'm just curious. Whatever. Quartermaster. What's your problem? Oh, we need Godot in there. Yeah, wait, what? Oh, we can't do it with a public class. It doesn't matter then. We'll just put nothing in here. Nothing. I'm curious if this is going to affect our number of things here. Our number of errors. It's not in anything. There's nothing there. But, you know, every time I run it, I get different number of errors. I didn't save it. So the quartermaster, we'll just go like, we'll put something in the quartermaster after all. Did I close that shit? I don't like how it, when you open a script, it opens it over here. I feel like it should open it on the end. There's probably a setting you could change. So with the quartermaster, why did we create this thing? Why did I just go to that effort? So this is going to be where we run the quartermaster to equip public static void equip heroes. And then this is where we'll leave this empty. We'll go back to here and we'll do quartermaster. I've got to spell it right though. So now this is in there. Once again though, I was hoping we would see different errors, but it just, we see a different number of errors now, and I feel like every time I run the fucking thing. And we have 19. Let's see if we run it again. I'm just curious. If we get 19 again. Oh, we won't get any. Yeah, because we didn't edit anything. It has something to do with editing. Resaving. So I like to drag and drop stuff in the inspector. Like I put an export on it and then I drag and drop it. But so now we got 8 this time. But I've noticed that that causes other issues later. Now we got 19. It's not a reliable error. I wonder when the new version of this is going to come out. I wonder if anyone else has noticed this is a problem. Nobody responded to my issue. What is this? Godot 4.4? Beta 3? We want beta 4. We're not there yet. I'm like watching the clock because I'm dying for a smoke. Did I take a break? I can't remember. I take a break and then why am I so dying for a smoke? I'm gasping, as they say in England. All right, so what the fuck is this quartermaster going to do? He's going to equip the heroes. So we can get rid of this thing. So the quartermaster will equip heroes. So how we're going to equip heroes is we're going to go back to this thing. We're going to... Munglo, how's it going? How's your archery going? You have a pretty interesting thing you're working on over there. Like I was saying, I look forward to checking it out again. Procedural maps to me are very fascinating because I worked on one for this other game, and I thought it would be easy. I think everything will be easy though. I thought it'd be a lot easier, and then the code just kept growing and growing, and it was, you got to think like a computer. Like, I mean, you got to do that with coding anyways, but you got to think more like a computer, and everything is a grid. I mean, I don't know if it's the same with yours, but on the one I was working with, everything had to be a grid to figure out where stuff was next to each other. So like I have 2 different games where I was working on it. And I was thinking there's got to be an easier way to do this than create a grid, but there's really like no way to create the grid. I mean, no way for the computer to know what's next to each other unless it has like a grid to figure it out. I don't know if I can run 2. I don't even know if this will work. two instances at once. I don't remember what state this thing was in. This is a different one. 3D grid. So yeah, and then you have a whole other access, a whole other dimension that you have to worry about. I was only doing, well, so then I was wanting to do different floors and stuff, different levels, you know. The whole thing's crazy. I was just curious if I could even get this to show up. How often do you stream? Are you a regular streamer? I don't know if this will run. I haven't opened it in a long time. I don't even remember what state it was in. The state it's in is it's broken. So there was a grid that I didn't think would be such a pain to make, but I was gonna point out like how painful it was. And it was just a grid, man, with like some doors and stuff, but it's broken. So yeah, pointless. And I did some other. I like the randomness. So like, there was things I guess I never thought about with video game design too. Like if the way that I was doing it, and this is the way that I actually like ChatGPT recommended it, but I also like found other people saying. So I needed it so there'd be a random generated dungeon basically, but there had to be a path from one end to the other. You know, like that would be pointless if you couldn't get through the dungeon. And the way that was recommended is you create it, and if there's not a path, you know, you pathfind to the thing, and then if there's not a path, you destroy it and you create it again, and you keep doing that until you get one that is there. And I was like, that seems like so much processing, like over and over and over again. And obviously you adjust your parameters or whatever, but you got to have that thing in there. And I never thought about it. Is like that really what they're doing on a lot of these procedural generation stuff? Is they're just blowing away all these maps and run them over and over and over to get what they want? You know, like you might have to run it 10 times to get the changes that the things to. Obviously, you have parameters built in too, but you have like the error cases, the edge cases that you got to worry about. I keep stepping on this fucking cord. I think it's on its last leg here. You already did 4 hours. Yeah, the end looked good. How long have you been using Blender? I've used it for about 15 minutes, probably. Oh, good. So you have it set up so that since they're connected. Your pathfinding looked good too. Years. Yeah, pathfinding was another thing that I worked with ChatGPT to help me, and it was quite a challenge. I used the A-Star plugin for Unity originally, and that worked okay. I mean, it worked good. But then I wanted to write my own because I wanted to learn more about how it worked, and also I didn't think I needed like the number of the plugin one from memory. Oh, my memory's trash. We were just talking about Memento and my memory. All right, so we're gonna move this generate equipment thing over to the other thing. I think we can actually just copy this wholesale. This part, we're gonna leave that thing. We're not gonna call it generate though. Yeah, we're gonna to the quartermaster here. So we're gonna have to pass in a population data. Yeah. It didn't go well from memory. It seemed like the one that you were clicking on yesterday had a lot of it seemed pretty complicated. Mine was very simple. You didn't want to use like a plugin or whatever? I don't know if Godot has one of those. What are we doing with this equipment? This equipment. This won't be used actually. This is us trying to assign it to We might use this back over here, though. I'm going to put some of this back. Yeah, that's the thing. Is when I was looking. So this is back when I was doing Unity and doing the A-star stuff, where Unity had that plugin. I forget what the guy's name is, but you could just use it and then whatever. But I read a bunch of like Reddit posts or something, and they were all like, yeah, you can use that. And if you have like, it's really good and the pathfinding is great and all that, but it does use way more resources than just if you don't need all those options. And then instead of just writing your own that does this, if you have a simple path, my pathfinding is very simple. So I wrote it. Well, ChatGPT wrote 90% of it. Okay, 50% because it was wrong most of the time. So we're gonna leave this thing here and we're gonna come back to this. And we're gonna deal with this in a second. I'm gonna take a break in a second too. Yeah, there's not too many of us C# Godot people, and I'm always excited to see another one because of that. What we got a problem here. There we go. I feel like there's only like 5 of us. They're all GD script people. So this is now, since we're going to move this over here to this public class, we're going to, if the public use newest is false, we're going to go through the county data. We no longer have this I here. Yeah, since I'm from Unity, I wanted to stick with C#, but then I also did read other Reddit posts where they talked about how C# was faster and had more, Joker, he comes into chat sometime. He's a big GD script guy. He knows C# as well. Trying to think, that for loop was actually useful. I don't think I have my population data set up right now I don't, because I forgot to even do this part. So we need to have it in here. We're going to for loop through this as well. For then for each. For then for each. Cricket, thank you for the raid. How's it going? Yeah, we need to put this in, and I can copy this over. Do we want to use an array? Or do we want to... We're going to use an array. And we're going to do it as a good data array equipment. And then we are going to for through that. GDScript has this place, but it's like Pi at the very core, scripting language. You're not meant to, so a lot of the conversation comes back to, and I think I might be always steering the conversation this way, but when people come in and ask, like, should I do GDScript or C#? I ask them if they want to get a job. and not necessarily game development, but just in general. And that C# is just more employable. Like, I'm too old to switch jobs, so I'm never going to become like a programmer as a developer for a living. But definitely, if you look, there's very few GDScript jobs, while there are many C# jobs. And the thing is that you might be doing some soulless work, but that's just how it is. The soulless work is how it's going to be. We need to set the length of this. And I can't remember how to do that with an array because I never do. Oh, you know what? No. Yeah, we need to set the length of that array because we need to forth through it. We did. I can't remember how to do it. Set length of array. Yeah, my memory is awful. Dynamically. I don't want to do it dynamically. I just want to tell it. I don't want to determine the size of it. Oh, I just put a number in there? Have I ever done that? It's actually 5 is the number we want. No, I don't put a number there. Oh, we do it over here. We do it over here. Maybe I have done this before. I don't think I ever have, actually. No, we don't put it over here. Cricket, are you a Godot person? Godot C# person? And welcome in, guys. Set the size of an array. Klepto, how's it going? In C#, how do I set the size of an array? Browser-based. We were talking, me and Stinglewings, he's in chat, I think, still. He was working on a game that he was put to the web version of Godot, and I've never used that. Elementile, how's it going? All under Linux. All right, how do I do this? What did I do wrong here? I have to do a new one, huh? New? I can't do that, huh? New, good data, 5. I must have done this at some point. I must have set the length of an array. At some point. Must have. All right, so it's got to have 5. Normally I do this in the inspector, but this time we don't, population data isn't set in the inspector anywhere. So that's why we need this new thing. And there's 5 things, so that we have our 5 things there. Except, is that going to work? We're going to have to subtract 1. How did we, oh, we were skipping the first one. That's not going to work. We'll figure it out. We'll go back to here. We'll go back to our quartermaster here. Yeah, we were going to do this for loop after all. So we're going to go, here, I have it right here. No, yes. I mean, it isn't very, we're going to put you here. We're going to put you here. We're going to do population data there. Man, I always worry about, I overthink performance for no reason. I just constantly worry, like, oh my, like this for loop, I'm dreading, like, oh, this is too, I just got to go through 5 things, and I'm worried about it. So this is, we actually are going to start at 0 here, but we can't match this. We need to +1 this thing because, whoa, Oh, but then we're going to go over when we get to the last one. Maybe we can't do it this. I was trying to make it simple. We could start that at 1. But then this is, we could do this. This is what we do. We start this at 1. We do this. We do this. Less than or equal. And so then it will convert I to the equipment type because we don't care about none. And then we'll do, it will add it to the list, and then we'll do this for our test down here. What do we got going on over here? We have the inventory thing, just needs another one of these. And we have some other, we need to pass in a population data over here. The idea being that this would be, we're in county. For each population data in county data dot heroes in county list. Then we're going to pass in this population data. I don't think I've ever set the length of an array in code, even when I was using Unity. You know, I used to play some like Battlefield game in the browser. I was talking about it the other day, like, whoops, that it actually worked okay. And I was shocked that it was a browser game. But it was like, you know, a first-person shooter. All right, let's see if this works as we think here. Then I'm going to take a break. It's good to see other Godot people, though. I posted a question on the Godot forums, and I was like, man, no one's looking at this thing. I should change the title. Then I kind of looked around looked around the Godot forum just to see how many people like view issues, and I was surprised at how few views these things get. Like there's a very small number. Well, this one, this one's popular, but generally, like most of these get very few views. So I should have made a better title too. But it's good to see other people working in Godot and actually working in Godot, if that makes sense, instead of, you know, not. All right, let's see if this thing goes what we want it to do here. Wait, we changed it. This is going to run at 4 o'clock. This is going to run at 4 o'clock. So we should have had it run here, even though I let it run too far. Oh, I didn't put a day thing in there. We got too many day things. All right, so that worked. Did it 4 times. And that's the right number of heroes. So there should be a hero at each capital. So there's a hero here, there's a hero here, there's a hero here, and one here. Just double checking. So that's right. It does it. So it's going to do it for the AI too, but then we're going to have it do it again when the player fucks with the UI. Yeah, I'm going to take a quick break, and I will be back in less than 5 minutes. Let me throw up my break timer, and let me pause my music that you guys can't hear. And I'll be right back. All right, I am back. Let me throw up the break or turn off the break timer and turn on my music that you guys can't hear and start a different song. I'm looking at chat. What did I miss here? You're on 3 Elementile? Is 3, do you consider it better still? I know that they have like limited support for it now. I mean, they still are supporting, which actually I think is a good thing. Like, I'm always bummed when stuff just loses support. We have 11 people here. Oh yeah, I upped it for the other test. I thought I upped it to 9 though. That seems the Klepto, the working on tools, then working on the project themselves seems to be an easy thing to. I keep starting projects and then I look at the project. Oh, I can make a tool for this, not for the inspector or anything. Or I can make a map editor. There, I have a slight map editor in this. It's like the way Paradox does their games. But this was written by someone else who comes into chat sometimes, and he wrote his, and then I took his code, modified it slightly. But that's how it gets it draws these things. But yeah, like I get sidetracked all the time. All right, what were we doing here? Turned off my break timer. So this is going to run through. It's going to equip the heroes for each one of these. We only have one good or one thing. We're going to have to clear this list. So after this, we're going to clear this list. If it will let us. I think we're going to have to do that where we add it to it like we have to do it afterwards. But we need it to be after each one of these, it clears it. After each, we need it after here actually. We need it to, after each loop, it needs to clear. We can't have it here. We need it to go. After each of these. That's where it needs to be. So that should clear it for each one of these. Let's turn one of these other resources, other goods into equipment, even though it's not equipment. We'll do like fish or something. We'll do fish. This is a skill. We want fish. It's dawned on me I should probably rename this to like good or fish good or something. We'll put this tier 0 is fine because we haven't checked that. We'll make this medical. We'll make it defensive equipment, and then we'll see what happens here. Make sure our for loop is working correctly. We have to let it run to see. Here's that error. Now we're getting 19. I don't know what to do about that. We just gotta let this run till 4 a.m., which we're looking at up here, and we probably could get rid of all of these because it's doing it for each faction. Let's see. I think I'm clearing the list in the wrong spot. Let's see. So it's going to go through the first one, and it should for each. So 4 o'clock should be the last thing that happens. Yeah, I've been doing this one for about 2 years. And I only do it on the weekends for 3 hours at stream, so I've streamed like 99% of this. So I definitely get the feeling of uh, just getting stuff done, but I also like sometimes work on other things. Yeah, we gotta. So that worked, but we gotta get rid of the. We gotta clear this list in the right place. This seems like the right place. And the other projects that I work on, I don't have. So this is like kind of like when I started this project, I said I was going to try to stream it 100% of the time. No, I knew it was going to be 100, but as close as possible. Why am I putting this in the wrong spot? What is going on here? Oh, it's because this is getting deleted. We got to put that, Jesus Christ. We can put this up here. But the other projects, I have a couple of different ones that I work on occasionally, though I've been burned out on everything lately. Mostly video games, just playing video games. I've been burned out. I have another channel that I work on too, or play video games on, and I haven't streamed that in like 2 months or something, a month and a half. I gotta actually do a video for YouTube for that too. Yeah, it happens, you know. So I think that I would have burned out on this too if I wasn't streaming it because I got chat to talk to too. You know what I mean? Like it's fun to talk to chat and I can fuck around with this and they can tell me that it's strange that I don't know what an array, how to make the length of an array in code. You know? So is this correct now? I think this is right. So it should loop through, you know what we could put in here? Yeah, well, let's do this. Let's put in plus I at the end. That way we can see, it'll just sprout it at the end, but you feel bad when you're not working on your project, like guilt? I definitely feel that, especially, so I have another project I'm much farther along, and I do feel guilty sometimes, where I'm like, why don't I work on that? And then I have another project that I feel like is a better project, not than this, but than the first project that I go, why don't I work on that? Like, I'm just sitting here. Like, sometimes I'm sitting here watching, like, YouTube videos that I'm not even into. Like, I don't know. All right, 4 a.m. We have this little number here. Okay, so this is definitely working. I was just worried, whatever. I have to test everything every 10 seconds. So this is going to work how we want it. Now we got to add in the tier stuff, though, because we haven't done that. This is just adding. This actually doesn't matter right now, but we need it to matter. So how we're going to do this with the tiers. So if we do the different tiers, we need to get we need to make this list, which we have. And then we need to grab the highest tier. This isn't going to be, we're going to have to sort the list. Then we're going to sort the list by tier and take the top list when it's true and the bottom of the list if it's false. The lowest. Is that how we're doing this? Dude, I love naps. I take every time I'm done streaming, I go take a nap. When I raided Munglo yesterday, I gotta go because I had to go take a nap. I take a nap every day when I get off work. Don't tell anybody, but I took a nap while I was in the middle of work the other day. Yeah, love it. Working from home has its benefits. So let's see. We have the check mark that the player puts in, or the AI will put in, though we're not even close to that. We have the check mark that says use newest equipment. So they're going to use the newest equipment. If it's off, we're having them use the shittiest equipment. I guess so. For now, that's how it's going to work. So let's sort this list by tier. Well, I get up at 7 or 7:30 or 8. 7 through 8. I wake up for work at 7 every day normally, and then on my weekends I wake up. You try not to fall for the nap appeal? See, that used to happen to me where if I took a nap, I was sleeping. I wasn't napping. I was sleeping for however long. And I actually have this feeling again, and it's probably like I'm depressed or something. But those days where I wake up from my nap and I just want to sleep, like I want to continue sleeping until the whole next morning. Like sleep is better than waking life. So I quit drinking a couple of years ago, and every time I slept after the first month of quitting drinking, I had just the fucking worst nightmares. Every time I went to sleep, I'd wake up and just some terrible nightmare had happened. And I was wondering if it was like my brain was trying to process stuff that had been blocked by me sleeping drunk every night. Like it needed to process. I'm going to say trauma, but it was like the nightmares were dumb. Like they weren't like, I wasn't waking up in the morning going like, oh, wow, I learned something from that. It was just like dumb shit. But I would wake up and just be like, oh my God, that was awful. I'm so glad that was a dream, a nightmare. That's finally ended. And now I'm like to the good dreams. So the naps, I like fall asleep quick and usually have a good dream real quick and then wake up and I go, man, that was a great dream. So yeah, we need to sort this list. What type of list is this? Is it a C# list? So we're going to sort this list by tier. So which means if we're going to sort this by tier, we have to change what we've done. We need to go into our public class here, or sorry, our good data. Why isn't this saved? We're going to go into our good data here, and then we are going to make this a public class. Tornado dreams. Like dreams about tornadoes, or is that a type of dream? Yeah, we're gonna make this a public class because then we can hit the equipment type in there, and we can also sort by tier. Like this sitting here, this is not gonna work. And so we are gonna do what I had a feeling we were gonna have to do. Do we want an export on this? We do want an export on this because we're going to save it at some point. We need to create the public class first here. We're going to I have a resource called equipment. That's not good. Equipment. Equipment. I thought I was done making new scripts, but I guess not. There's always a tornado in your dream. Do you guys ever have the dreams where you're like in a house that you've been in a bunch of times, but it's like a dream house? I'm not saying like a good dream, but it's like differently organized. But you're like, oh, this is my childhood home, but it's like not. And when you dream about that same house. That is strange to me. Equipment, data. This is going to be a resource, actually. Is it going to be a resource? I have been doing resources for all of these, so we will make this a resource, and we'll move this to where it should go then. That's why we renamed resources to goods. I don't think we need a folder for it though, because we're not gonna do it like these other ones. I think this is what we want. Don't you live in Florida? Is there tornadoes in Florida? So then this is going to be equipment data. And we'll get rid of this note. I live next to a volcano, and volcanoes don't worry me anymore. as much as they used to, and I grew up in California, so uh, uh, earthquakes don't bother me that much, but tornadoes, I don't know anything about them, so yes, I still have fear of tornadoes. How are we going to assign this here? We're going to have to assign this. We're going to have a new equipment type. So what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to put this in, we're going to need to edit this in this. I can't build this with this error here. We need to put my equipment, we need to set up this equipment data. I created it and didn't do anything with it. So we need equipment type. This is going to be public, all enums, equipment type. And then this is going to be tier. This is not an enum. This is an int. Equipment tier. There's a little bit of lag there. Namespace. Player space. In Florida? In Florida? Or just in general? Let's see. So we'll have that, and then this should now be showing up. Where the fuck were we working on here? Population data was not what we were looking at. We were looking at our new quartermaster, wherever he went. Let's pin this next to the hall master. So now we have the equipment type there, but we're gonna have to set this stuff up with our goods. Let's see how we can do this here. I don't remember what this is. Oh, I do know. Oh, that's a faction. All right, yeah. This is the one we need to set this up. We need to build this again. This is the error. This is the error that I was talking about that I don't know what it is and I don't know how to fix it. So now we have one of these. I need to be able to put this in here. Look, what the fuck, man. I need to put this in here. If we go back to our good data, can I do this? No. New. Equipment data, because it's a resource. But you're saying I can do this easier, different. Okay. You have a script that inherits from a certain node type, but the node, is that what that means? That inherits from a certain node type, but the node you have it on isn't that type. Usually happens when I don't think, no, because if you do that, it breaks it. It won't let you run it. Because I know what you're talking about. And I've done that in the past. I mean, it could be that, but so I think what happens, like if I change this to like no, or let's do it as a label, right? It should break this. You could be right. Yeah, see, it won't let you run it if that's the case. This is like something else weird that's going on. Because it did, so I guess it didn't preface it very much. It didn't used to happen until I upgraded it to 4.4 beta 3. Um, when it was fine, and then all of a sudden I started getting these errors, and you can click on them, they don't do anything, so it's kind of pointless. It could be better checks, but I feel like it should crash. Oh, this is still running in the background. Did I save that? That would be amazing if that was the problem. Because it's been annoying me for a while. So it doesn't happen if you don't make any changes as well. So we didn't make any changes here, but we'll go to like, it doesn't even matter. I can do it right here. I can just put a space in and save it, and then rerun it, and it happens. If it's going to rerun at all here. So, and it's a different number, and I've always been saying this too. If you look back at it, I think these are two different errors as well, because this one has a period at the end, and this one doesn't. So I think this is either two different people wrote this error, or the person wasn't paying attention because of the. So I think these are two different errors. Cast the reference. Maybe it is a casting. They do suck. So Unity did have a better. They have improved it since I started, but Unity did have a better thing, I feel like, with errors like this. I feel like, why doesn't it just take me to the script that's causing this? Like, can I just let me double click on it? But wait, if it's a casting thing, and it changes the number of, see, it'd be easier to track down if, let me save this again and build. If the number of errors didn't change, now we're in 27. Let me clear this here. Let's go back. Let's add it. So this is like, what I'm adding here doesn't do anything. So it's, I would love to get rid of this error. Okay, so it was just adding, except that doesn't make, 27 doesn't, a casting. You know, it used to give me a warning about one casting. What was it? So now we're getting 8. Can it just be consistent, please? Because it's impossible for me to, like, let's say I have a thing that I want to test, you know, and it always if it went away, Klepto, thank you for the follow. If it went away, you know, if the number of errors went down, I would know. And so someone was suggesting that in C# you can't use public classes. They were saying, no, you can't do that. So not resources, but like I have a bunch of public classes. And I don't think that's true. They were saying that was the problem, that why I was getting those. So if I went to like a public class, they were saying, let's not use the enums one because that one's special. Let's use, I want one that's actually used here, the quartermaster we just created. So what they were saying is you had to do public partial class and put node for every one of them. And like I can run it like this. Yeah, that's how I felt too, but see, we're getting the same net, well, one of the many same numbers of nodes or of errors. Is it done? I guess it's done. Let's clear it and run it again. Now this time I should get 0. That's what I was under the impression too. I am a noob, so like I don't trust myself, but like this. I wonder if we run it from here, what happens? And I assume you're using them as well and not getting that error. So I wonder what the fuck, man. That's more towards myself and the engine. If we let this run till 4 a.m., it will use that quartermaster thing. Yeah, we don't get errors there. So, I mean, um, another, what did I change here? Yeah, I was sticking with mostly C sharp stuff, but I started running into so C sharp lists were my go-to at the beginning, and I've slowly been switching them over to like this one's fine because it doesn't get out of here. But I've been slowly switching them over to Godot uh, collections because you can't see them in the editor, and a variety of other reasons. You can't save with their save system and stuff without them being. I am gonna do multiplayer on this. I do have to see him. I was hoping. I tried not to, uh, but it makes my life easier if I can see everything over here. And then if you save using their resource saver, they got to be exported, and so you can't export lists of custom classes. I don't even think you can export lists of. Well, I don't think it will work in here anyways. Yeah, it's not gonna work in here anyways. Actually, it should work in there, except it's a list. Yeah, there was another thing that I was. What was I? Oh, it was sorting. When I was sorting stuff, they're like, "Yeah, don't use this sort because it's not very good." I was like, "What?" Like in their documentation, and I thought that was kind of funny. They're like, "Yeah, this isn't gonna work right." It was talking about like numbers that are like 11 will come before 2 because it's two ones, which is actually a common thing I've run into in just in life with programs I use at my work, websites generally. All right, what are we doing here? We're just gonna ignore this error. I'm hoping this error is just gonna go away at some point. I've looked in their issues. I haven't found it. I posted on the thing. I should probably post an issue. So this is going to equip these things. We need to sort this list with equipment type. Oh, we didn't do this thing though. This is the whole point of doing this. Let's go back up to our resource is under equipment or goods here. Okay, so this is what we want, except it doesn't know that this is an equipment data. Is it down here somewhere? You know how I usually get around this? You know how I usually get around that is I make a generic one and then I copy and paste it, but I'm also missing something right here. Global class. Get parent in a node, use the dots. It seems like it should be about the same. But what is it? So let's see if this will show up on the thing. That would. I think Klepto's right. Get parent is 40%. Then using the dots. 40% is pretty intense. Like very intense. I was just thinking about something. I wonder if it's... No, I would have a lot more errors then. What the hell is happening here? Use to cast... There was a long time ago when I first switched over, there was a post from some guy. God, I wish I could remember what it was about. But he was a Unity guy who switched over. He was in a C#, but he was also like very deep into C++ too, I think, if I'm remembering this correctly. And he was going through a lot of the Godot wrappers and pointing out how slow they were. And he said, like, if I switch my project over to it, I'd be willing to help, but it's weirded him out that they hadn't been fixed already. Like, he was going to help fix the wrappers, and there was like some hostility towards him because he was, I'm using Godot and I think Godot is good, but I also am willing to criticize it, and I think it's okay to criticize things, as long as you don't just say this sucks and that's all you have, like you're pointing out like that there's certain things that are slower and weird, like that's okay and that's good, you know what I mean? If you just say, oh, it sucks, they're like, who, what, how? So he met with some hostility, but he actually, and I don't think he came over to Godot, but if they could attract more people who are willing to do that level of work, because it was going to affect his game that he was moving over. I think that would be, they should try to embrace that more because it could have helped everyone with speed and stuff like that. What did I do here? This is probably because I had, wait, now it's an equipment data. I need to put stuff in here though. I forgot to put export on here. Like, why is there nothing there? Yeah, I don't want to change again, but I also, when switching was very helpful to me. I also, going from Unity, I think Unity's community is much more hostile. Like, they're a bunch of fucking assholes. Most of when I was doing Unity, like I would say 50% of chat was assholes, and now it's like 10%. I forgot my export there. Let's build this one more time. We're gonna get this going here. All right, now there we go. So this is what this is gonna our reconnaissance equipment. We're gonna put this at tier 1. I don't know why I struggled with this. I've done this 500 times. We are in primitive scouting equipment. Then we're gonna do another test one. What was I using? Fish. I think I was making fish a medical, and we'll put it like tier 2. Oh, actually, we need to have it on reconnaissance equipment for a test, for our test. Did this bug happen again, or was that the old bug? Yeah, I feel like Unity, it was worse by far. Oh, did you get auto-modded? Stinkle-winks? Let me look. I'm allow. I permitted the term butthole. I know, it's kind of funny. You can tell like the auto mod is set up definitely for people calling you names, calling the streamer names. You know what I mean? That's like they expect it's set up so that they can't call you a butthole, which is I think it's funny, but it's also like yeah, I totally Monglo though, I don't like post on any of the community. That's the first time I posted, and I actually was saying I was reluctant. I was reluctant to post because I was worried about people laughing at my question, but Unity definitely has more topics, but I totally feel like everyone's much more of an asshole. That Kurt guy is crazy. He's posted on like every Unity forum, and holy shit, he was rude as fuck. We reran this. Why was I rerunning this? Okay, we don't need to rerun it, except that I was rerunning to make sure that error went away, which it did. We have this now. We have we're generating this for our test, but this is where we need to go here. No, this is not where we need to go. We need to go back to our day here, equipping heroes. Get proper raw, and it does it now though, right? I've used the input system, but I don't know. I'm not knowledgeable enough to no, to do any of that stuff. So now we can sort this list. Equipment. I'm gonna just have this thing. We want it to sort by. I need to sort this list by equipment data dot equipment tier with the lowest tier first using C#. Or somebody needed it, and so they implemented it, which is I want to do 3D hexes, and there's like this 3D hex thing has been floating around in the background. I keep waiting for it to get implemented, and that was just because some guy wanted it, and he started working on it. And they actually were talking about in the notes of the issue, or the PR, that because it's only maintained by one person, 3D hexes, so that it, like, that they have the tile maps. There's a 3D. It's not called it's called a. It's not a tile map. I can't remember what it's called now because I haven't looked at it in a long time. But it's to have it like do the hex, like the same way you would do the squares or 2D hexes, but with 3D. It's not a tile map. It's a different name. So we're going to sort this thing. We need to add some link in here, I'm pretty sure. No, not voxels. So like, what is it called? It's not a tile layer, because they changed what that was called. A Godot tile layer hex 3D. Well, here's is this a new one? This is old. It's not tile map is for the 2D ones, which I use the 2D grid map. Yeah. Grid map. I want a grid map. Grid map. This one's pretty new, but that's not what I was looking for. I think I'm gonna go open this on a different. I think I subscribed to it. So they're going to add, somebody's going to add hex support, 3D hex support. And that's, so I don't know if I'm actually ready for it, but I have a game that's 2D hexes that I want to convert to a 3D. It's not a game yet. I have an idea and I would like to be able to use there. So this is now like a plugin or something. And so one person, yeah, Joker knows me and my hexes. I actually have I'm getting I think I have let me see if I can find this picture. Before I talk too much, let me see if I can find this picture. There's a leak in my bathroom, so that I have to get my bathroom redone. I'm putting some hexes in my bathroom. Anyways, so yeah, you can do it without having the grid map have the 3D hexes in there. But I would like to use 3D hexes because I would like it to support that because I'm lazy and I want it to just work, you know. So I've been waiting for this to happen. I mean, I'm not really waiting. I'm hoping, and then I'll try to fuck around with it with my game to do 3D hexes. But they basically said something about, I think that there's just one person. Yeah, grid map has no maintainers, so adding new features is problematic. So yeah. Oh wait, grid map? The whole grid map has no maintainers? Oh. That's so that you can do it. You can do squares. It's not squares, cubes. I didn't know it worked that way. Like such a major feature could have no maintainers. Joker sometimes does tutorials, and I was telling him that I want a tutorial of how to use a GD extension so I can brainlessly do stuff. Did you make one of that? Did you make that tutorial? So we have this equipment list by tier. You can do them, but I wanted to do it the easy way. Drag and drop reboot. I need a video, Joker. Because then it's built in. Let's see. We got to go till 4 o'clock, and then we can pause it. So the lowest is there. Let's put a third one. Let's put food. No, not food. We got to go to vegetables and do reconnaissance, and let's do tier. I don't remember what other tiers I did, but I don't think 2. I don't think I used 2. 0. And then fish was 2. Let's do, so it's not alphabetical. We'll do 1. Yeah, nice easy video there. With big pictures. I'm just automatically clicking on my counties now. Always. All right, so let's see if this is sorted correctly. Primitive vegetables. All right, so that is sorted correctly. So this is now, we need to add it to the actual equipment of how much time do I have? Oh, I'm out of time. Let me put a note where we are. Let me make sure that this is working how I think it should work. So we have our equipment list. Then we're at the end, instead of clearing this equipment, we need to add this to the, we might have time to do this. Population data, because what we can do, no, but it is, actually we can do this. Equipment. I minus 1 equals equipment list I. No, that's not going to work. That's not what I want. I want first Can you do first with this? No. Well, first or default, I think it actually is what we want. First or default. So it's gonna, with this one, it's gonna always put the lowest one in. We probably will want to move this list sorting thing up to the top. Yeah, we will. Well, we're gonna move this up to the top. We will want to move this up to the top. And then let's put a note in. We'll push this code. Let's close all this crap. Keep the core engine slim. If they're smart, they start already now to put some parts and features in the visual package. You mean like so have like more GD extensions and stuff and have like just the core part? So you can just like click through and pick what you want? I mean, that can be interesting. That's how a lot of stuff works these days, is you pick what you want. Hilden, how's it going? You're a GD script guy then, because you don't want the C#. Monglo, totally. I get what you're saying, but Godot's already so small compared to Unity. It seems like it shouldn't matter that much. If Godot is huge like Unity, where it takes 20 gigs. It's 20 gigs of fucking garbage. Let's go to my thing here. My project. Closing a bunch. I have 45 tabs open. Is it open source? Should it matter when you're talking about portability? We're going to put this. Set up localization for 5 different... We did this. We did this morning. This morning? Free BSD for your game development. Are you planning... Have we talked about Linux, Hilden? Have we talked about that at all? I have this opinion that everyone thinks I'm crazy about, which is I'm going to try to make my game run on Linux without using Steam. And everyone says, like, you're crazy. Yeah, I don't know what the reason was or is going from 3 to 4 and the major changes. I wasn't around then, but I would assumed it was because they got better at making the engine, so they wanted to restart. What are we doing? So next weekend we're going to, what are we doing? We need to test this. Yeah, we're gonna test Elementile. Thank you for the follow. We need to test the equipment assignments in, what the fuck is this script called? Quartermaster. And that's it for that part. And I guess that's where we're at for this part. No, then I'm gonna add another thing. I like checking stuff off. 4.4 broke so many things compared to 4. Really? I'm a Windows guy. But it does have some issues, 4.1. From phone to PC, I have watched probably 10 minutes of Twitch on a phone. I have like no experience with like how that even looks. Yeah, so I wanted this dictionary typing that was in here, so I moved to the newest one. This is a while ago, and then I've just had to keep up on the newest one because there's been sort of major and minor bugs. So like each new beta of 4.4 I need to switch to because there's some other thing that it's fixing. So that's why I think that these errors might just go away on their own because they weren't there when it was in the dev. They weren't there. Let's go back over here. Let's finish this thing here. Test the equipment assigned. We got to send this to the top. I was going to do one other thing because I wanted to mark something off. What was it? Set up UI so that the player can check use newest. I think it's just called newest equipment, actually. Newest equipment. I mean, there is a question mark there, but that's not what we want. So the problem that, so in this, I think testing for Linux, like I can install a Linux subsystem on here, but having all the different versions and testing for is going to be the hard part for me. If you don't, how do you test for Windows? Like that it works on Windows. Rocky Linux 9.5 for compiling Windows and Linux export temples. Is Rocky Linux 9.5? I know a tiny bit about Linux. Send it to a friend. That works. Until they get annoyed. You can send it to me. I'll test it. As long as it doesn't have a virus. Right? And then we just trust each other. We got to put this here. All right, let's push this code. So are you going to try to use the Steam thing? Oh, that's just we'll let the player test it. Do you have Elemental, do you have, generally are there operating system issues? You know what I mean? Between like if you're running Linux, it generally works. Like 90% of the time it works, or is it like 50-50? So what did we do today? Created a public class for equipment data. And what else did we do? Moved equipment. This shouldn't be a capital. Equipment handling to the quartermaster script to a new quartermaster script. We're going to commit all of this. And then we're going to push. Glorified data viewer. I feel like, what type of game are you making? Monglo. Good luck. And do people come back and give you bug reports? There is this game that I streamed on my other channel that had a button on it where you could do a bug report. And I put in so many bug reports, the guy took the bug report button away from out of his game. I thought I was doing a good thing, I thought I was helping by telling him I wasn't being a dick about it, like, here's another fucking bug, you piece of shit. No, I was like typing, hey, this is the bug that I ran into, and because I figured he would want to know. I would want to know if there was bugs, Bottle. I'm gonna have to look into all this stuff when I finally get to that. I'm only building for Windows right now because the game isn't. I mean, it's not really a game. I just build it so that I don't know why I do it actually, so that I can accomplish something, I guess. Mixing Go, chess, and Hearthstone together. Huh? What's it called? Do you have a link? and Mongo, do you have a link to any of your past stuff or current stuff? I didn't think you were in the ready to release, but it sounds like you are or have in the past. Won't try to fix underlying OS specific shit in general if the engine can compile the I do it if it works. But for Godot, transparent window with click through, there's a bunch of things. Oh, dude, you don't even know how much I've dealt with that. You don't even know with how you're talking about clicking through like UIs and stuff and like things passing through. Holy shit. I have so many. No, you're not. Okay. I have so many issues with that. Um, that's the name of the that makes sense. Element tile is a game where you select an element set and which place to use, and you claim tiles on the board to win. I'm going to put it on my notes so I don't forget here. I have a note thing over here that I probably have forgot other things that element tile with a Y. Oh, with your overlay on the thing you were dragging around on your picture or when you were streaming, the like the little guys that were dragging around and stuff. I'm gonna put this. We don't need this. I'm gonna put this. I guess I don't know if they were guys. Little icons or whatever they were. They weren't icons. I'm gonna check this out too. I always do this whenever I switch from Visual Studio to Word. I try to use Control X to get rid of lines. It doesn't work. All right, I am calling it a day though. Thank you guys for joining me and for the great conversation. Like I said, I think I probably would have given up on this, except that it's fun to talk to chat while I work on it. You know, and then they also suggest improvements and ways for me to learn. So anyways, thank you guys, and thank you, Critical. Wait, is his name Critical? No, his name is. I said it earlier, right? Cricket. There we go. Jesus Christ. I said it right earlier, and now I didn't. I think he's probably left, but that's fine. Thank you to Cricket for the raid, and Klepto for the follow, and Elementile for the follow, and Manglo for the follow as well, because you followed the other day. Or yesterday. Anyways, thank you guys for dropping by. I will talk to you next weekend. Unless I stream on Wednesday. I might stream on Wednesday. Probably not, but maybe. All right. Talk to you guys later.